This is Saturday Morning Mysteries.
And we're your hosts, Alexis and Grace.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Saturday Morning Mysteries, bonus content of Toon Tangents. We are your hosts, as always, Grace, that's me, and
Alexis is me.
That's you. And we are so excited to be having another Toon Tangent today.
Excited.
It's actually still kind of on the theme of our previous Toon Tangents of revival reboot situation. This is revival of one of our favorite shows of all time.
My favorite show.
Yes.
I'm not saying that like not to be like upstanding. I'm just
Grace.
saying like actually though, in all seriousness, this is my absolute favorite. And I don't have a lot of favorites because it's hard for me usually to choose. But this is one area where I have a favorite show, definitively animated or otherwise. It is my favorite show.
This show is on Alexis's wall for those watching on YouTube. There's art of it.
I've got some DVD collectors here.
Yep. I
probably can't see them, but yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure at my dad's house, all of the DVD sets from the original seasons are still I still distinctly remember the glossy fold out that the seasons were. That you'd like unfold the whole thing. Great art. We probably watched those DVDs to the ground together.
Absolutely. Sleepovers over and over. That and Family Guy. We went back and forth. I'm
exactly
positive.
Yeah. This, I was actually thinking about it, between like you, myself, probably our brothers, because I have to imagine your brothers were into it too, but definitely my brother and I, like, it was a formative show for us, I would say. We're talking about Futurama.
Thank you. I was gonna say, let's not hide the ball anymore because I want to continue on that. But of course, yes, we're talking about Futurama. Absolutely. In my opinion, like one of the greatest, if not the greatest animated show for sure. And to be fair, we are deviating a little bit from our current our typical theme of Saturday morning type of animation. Now, this is an adult animated show, so this was not something that we would watch on Saturday mornings. It was more like Adult Swim, late at night, going to bed and whatnot, or Comedy Central, exactly, or the DVDs at sleepovers. This was like the weekend, but not Saturday morning type of watch. Saturday evening, like Thursday evening, something like that. But as you said, like such a formative show. Like when I think about just like the things in life that like make me laugh, just like my sense of humor and all of that, like what I find funny, I realize that like so much of my sense of humor was literally shaped by Futurama. And like as I've grown up and continue to watch it, I watched it this morning before we were recording. Like it's the show. It's either that or Parks and Rec is the show that I just kind of like put on to just have playing like when I'm doing shit around the house, right? And so even like watching it this morning, I was like geeking just at how funny even the later seasons were. So and I think it was really formative. I don't want to obviously speak for both of us, but just because of when it first premiered in like 99. Yes.
Which like we would have been like 7 type of thing. And I don't know if I was watching it at that age, but by at least the time I hit junior high a few years later, I was in it. I was aware of it. My brother and I were watching it constantly. And then fast forward another 2 years, I meet Alexis and like all downhill from there as we well know.
And it's like, oh my God, wait, you love Futurama too? Oh God, exactly. And then the obsession just grew even more.
And like
and shout out to I think we referenced her in a past video, but BK, our good friend BK, Beth Kaler, she also, if I recall, again, I don't want to speak for her, but I'm almost positive she also enjoyed Futurama growing up because we used to talk about that all the time together in grade school.
And it's just like this, again, like middle school age is like what that's like the start of the next decade where everything like the most, I don't want to say the most formative time of your life, but like a lot of changes are happening, including like figuring out what you really think is funny and like developing kind of I don't want to say like 10 and under, you don't have a personality yet, but like you're a kid you're just like fucking around. And so like middle school, the reason why middle schools are probably monsters to raise and deal with is because you're starting to figure out like,
exactly,
I can find myself, I can develop into whatever I want right now.
Your personal identity
starts to develop
evolving.
Or like gets a base for that development. And of all time, but especially then entering a digital age and stuff, like the content you're consuming at that age will have such a profound, I think, influence on like what you start to develop into. And so just that timing of like getting into one of the first probably more adult cartoons and that type of humor at that age, I think was just like the launch point for who we became and our humor absolutely. And like weirdness in our lives.
It's funny too. Like I'm just gonna say it. Like people don't find Futurama funny. Like for me, that's an instant red flag.
Yeah,
it's like, and I get it. Like comedy is subjective. I get it. But if you can go through an entire episode without laughing at all, and like, hey, maybe you can, and
maybe you're just dead inside.
But that's the reason. If you don't laugh at all, like that's it. But no, so why are we talking though about this adult animated show that definitely doesn't typically fit into the Saturday morning mysteries kind of, I guess, our theme with this podcast slash podcast. But with our Toon Tangents thing, as we've been talking about for the past couple segments we've done, we're talking about revivals and reboots. And my God, Grace and our viewers, our audience, literally the animation gods, they have heard the prayers of nerds and geeks and just adult animation lovers the world over, because Hulu has announced that they are rebooting. We're not entirely sure. Well, I guess.
Or I guess we don't know enough yet
because of the way that the last season ended. It like could technically be a reboot.
Yes,
but it's. I'm pretty sure it is a revival. Yeah. That's how it's being described. And at first, we were nervous when this news dropped in February. Yeah, because. We were nervous but excited because they went through the list of everyone who had signed back on, and it started great. You got Matt Groening, who obviously is also famous for doing The Simpsons. And
which also an incredible show. Like Matt Groening.
Another one of the best adult animated shows. I always liked Futurama more, but I still do love The Simpsons. Matt Groening. He's a G. He's a G and a genius. And then you also have a man named David X. Cohen, who was one of the other creators of Futurama. So both of them were back, which awesome. First
good start.
Great, we're off. We got the same creators and writers.
Yep.
And then you got all most of the same voice actors. Fry, the professor, Leela, Amy, Hermes, Zoidberg, Kid, Zach Brannigan, and all of them, except you've probably heard one name is missing, an iconic name, Bender. So the only actor who had not signed back on to start was John DiMaggio.
The voice of Bender and a shitload of other iconic characters.
A lot. So like a very prominent role for the show, obviously very important actor and character for the show. But I'm glad that we're recording this today rather than, recording it right when the news dropped like a month ago even, because literally just like 4 or 5 days ago, John DiMaggio, he signed on for the reboot. And so now the revival. And so now we literally have pretty much 100%.
Yes.
Just everyone is back.
Yes.
I could not be more excited. I know our past couple of revival bonus content shows. Yeah, we've been shitting on it. We were a little hopeful about Powerpuff, but this one, I am so excited for this. Yeah.
Well, and a shout out to DiMaggio too, of like, the reason why he hadn't signed on yet was pay negotiations, which like, and like in some of his comments, he was like, this isn't just for me. Everyone on this show deserves a raise. And since he signed on, I assume it fucking happened. So like also huge props and shout out to him for also like, I don't know. Like,
know your worth.
Yeah, exactly.
He was asserting his own self-respect there. Yes, and I get it. Because he was, I think, building off of what you're saying, I think he mentioned like, hey, this is like not to like disrespect the fans or the show in any way. Like, and I get it because This dude's been around forever. And also he's like a prolific voice actor. Like he's in Adventure Time. He did voices in Teen Titans. He was in just like so many things. Like you recognize his voice when you hear it. And so he was also like, you know, Hollywood, this business, like, yeah, exactly. Pay me because y'all are going to work me and use my image and likeness to the bone. Like y'all going to make me do all these press events and I'm going to be back at like every, you know, comic convention or exactly. So pay the man, as Bender would say, pay him already. Disney actually bought the rights. So let me back up. When Futurama first aired, exactly. When Futurama first aired in 1999, it was on Fox. And eventually Fox canceled it and they sold the rights to Comedy Central.
Abruptly every time it's gotten canceled.
This is the fourth time I believe that it's been revived. So it just keeps coming back from the dead. This is a zombie that I can actually get on board with though. Unlike the Fairly Odd Parents. Exactly. Fans request it because we're ridiculous, like mob mentality, cult loving cult Futurama loving fans. But actually, sorry, let me just show off something how much of a fan I am.
For those listening, oh my god, and it's the coffee thing. For those listening to the podcast, Bert is currently drinking a Bender and Fry Futurama mug. I did
actually. I made sure that this was clean today so I could use this as we talked about Futurama. But anyway, so yes, we are massive, ridiculous fans who demand the most. And so after Disney purchased 21st Century and, you know, all the Fox properties a few years ago, I don't know the exact date, they were able to get some rights to Futurama. But now that I think about it, Futurama went to Comedy Central before.
I thought I thought it was on Comedy Central when it got its first revival. That's where I watched it for a while, I thought. So
there were 4 seasons on Fox.
Which were the originals.
Got canceled. Yeah, the original, the OG, the original show or series. And then they came out with 4 direct to DVD movies. And then what Fox did was they gave the syndication rights for those movies to Comedy Central. And Comedy Central broke each of the movies down into 4 episodes. So it ended up being 16 episodes. And then after those movies came out on Comedy Central then brought it back for 2 more seasons after that. So it had a total
which meant they must have gotten the full rights for it at that point.
Which I think is Viacom. I don't know. I don't remember who
owns Comedy Central.
But it wouldn't have been Fox. Somehow, I don't know. Maybe I think Hulu somehow maybe bought the rights from them. Then they bought the rights from somebody. And needless to say, Hulu is mostly owned by Disney. So people were like, "Listen, there is no shortage of money at Disney. If y'all cannot pay John DiMaggio and the rest of these voice actors and cast members to come back, then exactly." So the mouse, he paid up. He opened up his pocketbook and he was like, "Fine."
Mickey was
and thank God he did though, because like you said, this is everyone's back and it's just going to be so beautiful. I don't really have any gripes about this at all. I only have blessings.
And 2 things. Something I was thinking about too, which is really interesting with animation, because at some point I bet people are like, well, why do you care so much about the voice actor? People can just do imitations, which okay, but something I think is really special to note is that these are still people behind it, and the chemistry of actors, including voice actors who have worked together, is something that can't be replicated. And even though it's animated, you can still know when it's not the original person. Yes, the voices sound so similar, but there's just always something that's missing. And I think a big part of that is that that chemistry, that hey, I developed this character as the original voice. So it's like an actor in any role that you see their face. I understand this character so well, so I can do the nuances. I can play off of the other voice actors in a way that someone new naturally can't, because they weren't there for the original. So I think it goes beyond just the sound of the voice type of thing.
You can really feel it.
Yeah. So then my other note was that I feel such relief right now because when we were deciding what our Toon Tangent should be about, the last couple ones were about reboots and revivals with some live action. Again, Powerpuff Girls, Fairly Odd Parents, Fairly Odder. Go back and listen to those and to the Crime Capers and all of that. But when Bird was texting over some suggestions, or maybe we were talking about them, on Zoom or something, you were like, oh, and we should talk about the Futurama one. But like, that's all you said. And that was the tone. And I was like, oh, fuck, I'm super excited about it. But I know this is Alexis's like die hard favorite. And she said it in a tone that I couldn't tell if she's like pissed about how it's being done or she loves it. And so like going
just my typical stoic self.
Yeah, like going into today's episode, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to tell her that I'm really excited, but I'm gonna have to tell like a super fan I'm really excited, and then she's gonna be so mad at me about it. But thank fuck you're on the same page as me, and I'm like, whew, okay, friendship remains.
I think the situation with that was we wanted to save all of our thoughts for recording it now. Moment. So we were like, all right, let's talk about Futurama. And I was like, I did my typical like eye roll and like blowing like deep sigh. Because I was like, I have a lot to say. I'm not going to say it now. Let's save it for next week when we record.
It was so cryptic.
I did. I left it exactly. I left it very open-ended on where
where you landed.
And to be fair, news has changed since we decided, because when we decided to talk about it, John DiMaggio had not signed on.
Yep.
I was excited for it, generally speaking, when we made the decision to talk about it. But yes, I was also like anxiously and nervously excited because I was like, but John DiMaggio's not coming back. So it's like, I'm mostly happy. Yes, that's a good way to put it. I was mostly excited, but super stressed as well.
Yes.
Now I'm just 100% excited. Yeah. And like, honestly, I just can't wait to see where they're gonna start it up, where they're going to take it. Because even in anticipation of us talking about this, I went back and rewatched the very, very last episode to like remind myself on how they ended it.
Yeah.
And that's why I started saying like, it is a revival, but it could technically be a reboot. Could go
either direction.
Exactly. Because they kind of ended it in like a time loop where, Fry and Leela, I'm not going to give it away. So if people like the show or haven't necessarily seen the last episode and you want to go watch it, it's all on Hulu, obviously. You can go see it. But they essentially ended it in a time loop where Fry and Leela had an opportunity to totally start over, not like their entire lives, but to go way back in the past and just kind of like relive all of these experiences over. So it could start super fresh. And that is a caveat too of them going back in the past, is like, they won't remember anything that have happened in, a lot of the recent years. So it will be like a fresh start in a lot of ways. And so I just feel like they can do so much with that. And I'm just so excited to see like the things that they bring back. Like, I want to see them do another anthology of interest.
Yes.
When they do like those, the nice anthology episodes, and just like so many more like time loop type of like messing up the timeline, going back in the past. And
I'm just like picturing all of, like the hype around, like the time loop opportunity, and how funny it would be if like the first episode just started with the professor being like, well, good news, everyone. That didn't happen because they just canceled that part of the time loop, and then just carried on as if like the time loop plot like was never even like Fry and Layla were just like, nah, we're good, thanks, or just like something like that, and like everything was just normal and the same.
It's possible.
I would love it still. That's a hilarious way to start. And I think also, at least both at the time of this recording, most likely at the time of this release, we don't really have any information beyond like contracts have been signed.
It is supposed to come out in 2023. That much we know. But as for like setup and script and plot, stories, any of that stuff,
all out of the loop on that so far. And I think we will be doing a lot of updates on this one because like we said, Futurama, I think, again, very formative into like who we are as human beings.
Yeah.
Very distinctly. And yeah, probably actually you mentioned it kind of at the beginning of like, was probably like a very quick point into our friendship of being like, oh,
I think that
like this show. I
that
like
and
this
Family
show.
Guy combined for sure. I mean, like, yes, obviously school and rowing. So like we were always already together, but it was like once we realized that we also had the same sense of like humor from loving those shows,
it was
like, oh, ding! Never looked back.
Yep, exactly. I'm thrilled. I'm excited. It's,
I think
it's so heavily quoted in like our household right now, again, like with our brothers, like between us, between you and I, it's never gone away in like our lives.
I'm wondering if Hulu does like, you can do watch parties on Disney Plus, like where you link up with other people with Disney Plus accounts and you can like stream a movie at the same time. I wonder if Hulu does that, because if so, we might have to like carve out some time to like watch these episodes together when it comes out.
Oh my God.
And yes, again, we know that this is not Saturday morning material. Technically, it's adult animation, but we're totally going to do more bonus content and Toon Tangents on this, just because, like we both said, it's our favorite shows pretty much. So again, sorry, we will deviate from our theme a little bit for the sake of Futurama.
We've established that so we can do things like this.
Yes, exactly. And actually, to be fair, like, I'm pretty sure I watched Futurama for a little bit Saturday morning, today's Sunday, sorry. So for me, at least as an adult, Futurama is a Saturday morning cartoon. It's an everyday cartoon. I watch it every day, just about every hour of the day, whenever I just have it playing. So
yep, exactly. I think we
Saturday is
should do
included.
Like old school style. If we are able to stream it, we should look into that on Hulu. If not, Hulu, great
I'll
idea.
check.
And we should do it like,
or if not, then we'll just like text each other like, all right, start now.
Yep, exactly. And I think we should try to do it, on like at 10 p.m. one of our times, aka when we would watch it when we were in high school, of
back
like
in the day on
come
Adult
over to
Swim
my
or
house,
something,
hang out, have dinner, like yada yada,
have some Smart Pop that we ate profusely in high school.
Having our own bag of Smart Pop, get into the
a whole bag
on the
after
couch.
like a 2K at practice.
Yep, exactly. We earned it. Get into the all of the blankets up on the couch and in the basement in my dad's house.
Lights off.
Put in the DVD. We'll do that version of it, but then just streaming at the same time.
Opposite sides of the country and in the houses that are nothing like the houses our parents have.
Exactly.
Yes.
But alas, still counts. And I mean, I think a prime example of how much we love this show and form of the shows and stuff, of like on one of our recent-ish, I guess depending on when we release this, like Scooby-Doo episodes, we reference it with Bender, even of like, this thing happened in Scooby-Doo, remind me of Futurama, haha. Anyways, like it's
everywhere
on our mind.
Yeah, exactly. We'll mention it no matter where we go.
And let us know in the comments, like, have you watched Futurama? If you don't, get that Hulu free trial even and binge the shit out of it and get ready for this new season.
Watch it. I don't like I typically don't have favorites of anything. It's like, I've got like 5 favorite colors and like 5 favorite genres, but like again, this is my favorite show. If you've not watched Futurama, please watch it. Like you will laugh. If you don't laugh, then you can come at me. That's fine.
No, if you don't laugh, we're gonna block you.
No, Grace will block you, but I will be happy to sit down and debate you as to why you are wrong for not laughing. I think I could write a thesis on how perfect of a show.
Yes.
But all of this is to say, of course, that we're super excited, super excited for this revival. And we hope that you are too. And drop a comment. Let us know how you feel. If you have watched it, how you feel. If you haven't watched it, give it a try. Let us know how you like the old episodes when you watch it on Hulu. And then why not just tell us like how happy you are that John DiMaggio is back. If you have watched it and you're a big fan, or just like what you're most excited to see them do.
Like
in the new
tweet him
episodes.
This video, tell him we say hey, tag him, tag us. Oh my God, hey DiMaggio, what's up? What's up, Matt Goer? What's up, guys?
Matt, Dave Goen. Hey.
Yeah.
Love you
Tag
guys.
them all.
Billy West, all of you,
oh my God.
everyone. Oh my gosh, the whole cast. I love you all.
Huge fans. I also like drop in, and I might read these comments, like just no context, drop your favorite Futurama quotes. Like no context. I will scroll quickly to read those.
Can I real quick say one of mine?
Yes.
It is there's an episode where Fry there's like Fry takes Leela and Bender back to old New York just to look around, and he does it in a few episodes. So God, I'm so ashamed, but I can't remember exactly which one this is in. But like anyway,
underground old New York.
Yeah. And so Bender is asking him about sorry, it's a museum. It's like an old museum about old stuff from like old New York, so they're not actually underground. And Bender is asking him about cars and driving, asking Fry about this because I guess there's like a car on display from like the 90s or whatever. And Bender's like, you guys had these cars back then? Did you drive, Fry? And Fry is like, nah, nobody in New York drove. There was too much traffic. It's and like that's that kind of humor. So exactly. Because you like stop for a second. You're like, wait, you have to pause. That one and another one. It might be the same episode, actually. No, this is the episode I think with Fry's dog Seymour, where super sad, emotional episode, Jurassic Park. Fry is talking about how there's, it's again a display of old stuff from old New York. And Fry is saying, oh, Bender, we have to go check this out so you can see how life was before I met you. And Bender's like, you lived before you met me? To which Fry responds, sure, lots of people did. And Bender's like, really? Again, like two quotes that just again make me so happy that DiMaggio is back, because no one can do it other than him. They would have to. They said they would recast him if DiMaggio couldn't get back, but I would say just write a whole new character. You can't do Bender without DiMaggio. It's like you can't do Fry without Billy West. You have to. And it's one of those things that I would be like, just write Bender out of the show, and at that point, just stop writing the show. Exactly. Your reboot's bad and you should feel bad. Yeah, exactly. You should feel bad. Well, but we are so excited. It no longer is. It's going to be great, and I can't wait. Yep, we're going to tune in. I'm hoping that they do like just the immediate drop of all the episodes so I can binge them all at once and not just like a weekly thing. So I don't know. Yeah, that would be awesome if they did. There will be 20 of them, I think I read. So it's going to be great. It's like a full season. They're not going to cop us out like 10 episodes just to see how you guys do. Like, no, they know that people are going to watch this. So they're like, give us 20. Boom. And so hopefully we get some really good gems. And if they do upload them all at once, then I might have to call off work one day or I'm just going to like pull a couple all-nighters. Either way, we'll be knock through them. And then I'm going to rewatch them always, because that show, I go back, like I said, I rewatch it all the time and it ages well. So it does. I don't care how many times I see those episodes. I'm going to keep them playing. So. I'm going to probably go back and start over from the beginning again here pretty soon because I'm so stoked. So, we'll see you next time for more Toon Tangents and more Saturday morning mysteries. Yep. Bye. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Saturday Morning Mysteries. If you enjoyed this episode, please share, rate, review, leave us a like, and drop a comment. We post episodes every Saturday and bonus Toon Tangents whenever we feel like it. So please subscribe so you don't miss the shenanigans. And if you want to follow us on YouTube, click the bell under the YouTube subscribe button to receive notifications when new videos are posted. And if you want to subscribe to the podcast, we have no idea what you're listening to us on, so just hit the big subscribe button on whatever app you're using. We believe in you. Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at SatmornMist, all the abreves, and let us know if you have any episode or show requests by emailing SaturdayMorningMysteries@gmail.com.
Thanks to Jenna Kendall for the logo design and to Ava Sakiki for the music used during this week's episode.
See y'all groovy kids next week on Saturday Morning Mysteries.